Let's start with the rapid fire rounds. The first one is, at what age do you want to retire?
45.
How long does it take you to get ready in the morning?
It's about 30 minutes.
Most embarrassing moment of your life?
That's a hard one. I don't know if there's a most embarrassing moment. There's probably just too many to count.
Favorite color?
Black.
What time of day are you most inspired?
Probably between 6 and 8 a.m.
How many hours of sleep can you survive on?
About 6. I could get by with 4 if I need to.
Fill in the blank. An upcoming finance trend is blank.
Oh, I'll take that one again. An upcoming finance trend is groundbreaking.
How do you relax?
Usually running, playing squash, or sitting in the sauna.
How many cups of coffee do you drink per day?
1 espresso.
A habit of yours that you hate?
Waking up too early.
The most valuable skill you've learned in life?
Being adaptable.
Your favorite Netflix show?
Oh, Mindhunters.
One word description of your leadership style?
Consultative.
Top priority in your daily schedule?
Meeting with customers.
Ideal vacation spot for relaxation?
Custody.
Key factor for maintaining a work-life balance?
Focusing on work-life harmony as opposed to balance.
Okay, that's the end of the rapid fire rounds. I'm going to spare you the rest of them.
This episode is sponsored by Outgrow.co, the world's first all-in-one interactive content builder. Use Outgrow to build quizzes, calculators, tests, polls, forms, contests, and chatbots to generate leads and keep your audience engaged. Sign up for a free trial at https://outgrow.co.
All right, so let's go to the long form questions, which you can now answer with as much time and ease as you like. We've got a whole day. Can you share some key insights into how AWS is driving digital transformation in the banking industry?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. Yeah. So like when we think about how our customers are using AWS and cloud services, it's across all parts of the value chain in banking, from driving better call center operations to better personalization using machine learning through to the middle office and being able to improve kind of the operational efficiency in the middle office and also better understanding risk. We've got other customers across the globe that are implementing core banking solutions and others that are doing embedded banking or banking as a service as well. So when you think about how AWS is being used, it's actually probably across all different parts of the banking value use case, and being able to really drive that either operational efficiency or that customer experience or that increased insight is how our customers use our services.
And so do you have like a memorable example of a banking client that successfully transformed their operations with AWS? Any story that stands out?
I mean, like so many, yeah. Like when you think about what you've seen with what NatWest has shared in terms of how they've been able to drive personalization, or you hear about what Standard Chartered Bank has done with their banking as a service capability. There are many other examples like that that stand out in terms of being able to drive that transformation, both inside the organization, but also being able to impact their customer outcomes.
So where do you think banking as a service is headed?
I think it's on this evolutionary track. I think what it means to provide banking as a service, whether it's specific APIs or a full banking license capability as banking as a service, I think we're seeing that occur in different areas based on need, whether that's in LATAM, which are occurring more like banking as a service, or very specific APIs like we see in the US. So I don't think there's an end state, or I could predict the end state for it. But I think what we're seeing is that's being used to drive embedded banking and serve those customers with an immutable need in their customer journey. And that's where we see it really being really applicable, and a lot of customers using it to drive better outcomes from a banking point of view.
And so with regards to cloud strategies, then how do you approach developing cloud strategies for banking organizations with different needs and challenges across various regions?
Yeah. And I think the point in your question, the last one, is probably the most important. It's all banks have different needs and challenges. So when you think about developing a cloud strategy or a digital transformation strategy, there is no one size fits all. So what we like to do at Amazon is we work backwards from the end customer's goal along with the bank. So how do we actually drive from an outcome and an immutable need to solve the intrinsic problem? So, you're not doing cloud for the sake of cloud. You're actually doing it for a use case. So when I was talking about earlier about those different use cases, it really depends if the bank's trying to drive a better personalization. So we're starting with the machine learning, or they're trying to drive operational efficiency where maybe it's a combination of machine learning and partner solutions, or they're trying to exit their data center. And that could be more of a migration activity. So it really just depends what the customer is trying to do to drive how we approach a transformation. But we always work back from that immutable need that our customers have.
So if you had to highlight the primary benefits you see for banks adopting AWS's cloud-native services, what would they be?
I think there's quite a few, but at a high level, what I would say is it's better scale and better flexibility in terms of what they're trying to deliver to their customers. It's increased security and a better security footprint that they're able to get from an AWS point of view, where we see customers driving better resiliency in their core applications that they drive. And then it's the agility to meet the market demand as customers iterate and their consumers iterate in terms of their needs. So by being able to leverage AWS services, what customers are able to do is focus on what's the most important to them, which is their core business of delivering banking or financial services to their end customers, as opposed to managing infrastructure, which we do on behalf.
And how do you address concerns around data security and compliance in these cloud-native solutions?
So all of our customers really focus on how they define their data security platform, etc. Now, AWS job zero is security for us, and making sure the cloud is secure from what we build and what we provide to our customers. Then customers on top of that obviously secure their data using encryption methodologies, things like KMS, etc., to be able to encrypt data both in transit and at rest. They also define where their data is stored and where it can be moved to. So we find that our customers leverage the machine learning tools that we provide to better help encrypt and secure their data, whilst AWS manages the cloud and helps ensure the environment from a cloud point of view secure as well.
And how are you guys leveraging AI and machine learning in your cloud solutions to enhance banking operations and customer experiences?
Yeah. And I think it's how banks probably use that and how we provide those services to our customers. And there's a number of things, as I said, from driving hyper-personalization to driving better propensity models, through to helping our banking customers drive lending operations or be able to use generative AI to be able to do some of that manual lift of knowledge workers. We see all of those different areas where banks are adopting AI ML technologies, either pre-built into our services like our Amazon Connect product that provides call center capabilities, or to using Bedrock or Amazon Bedrock to be able to use generative AI to experiment and roll out generative AI solutions that meet the needs of the banking industry.
So in what ways do you actually measure the impact of AI and ML implementations like these on a bank's performance?
So usually banks, when they look at using AI, ML, or any other technology, usually do so, as I said, in terms of that immutable need. So what are they trying to solve for? So I'm a strong believer in terms of you don't try to measure impact of AI as an AI capability. What you're really trying to measure is the ability of that technology or that tool set to actually impact the end outcome of the bank. So that could be something as improving NPS, that could be a better prediction model, it could be lower amount of churn, or it could be operational efficiency. So when you think about the use of AI ML and how banks are truly measuring the impact of that into their organization, it's against those standard business drivers that we always saw in the organization.
So where do you actually see the use of AI and ML and Gen AI in FSI heading?
That's a really interesting question. So I think, the really good thing for financial services and banking customers is data has always been a focus in terms of the financial service industry, in terms of getting that data right, getting that data consolidated and usable. Now, when you think about overlaying generative AI and AI ML and some of the other techniques, what you're actually seeing is banks are in a really great position to leverage these tools because their data is great. Now, if it was to put my crystal ball or stargazing hat on, what I would say is, I think what's going to change is the human to computer interface in corporate life. Okay? We've already seen that in our retail life or in our individual lives where I can talk to Alexa or I talk to Siri. Now, I think what we're seeing from a corporate point of view is that same idea, being able to ask a chatbot about a question about a loan or about a customer and being able to get a natural language answer back. We're seeing that change in corporate life, which was previously very application focused, and now we're seeing it become more conversational flow as we see in our personal lives with devices like we have today.
So would it be like the death of applications in general?
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be the death of applications. I think it's more, how do you surface that at the moments of need? So really, the applications, whether it's a loan origination system or core banking system, are going to be crucial to what we do in banking, from now till, I think forever. But like, how do you surface that in the context of, Charith just called me and he wants to inquire about where is my loan today and what's the next step that's required. Now, I have an option of logging into the application, finding where the loan is and finding that item, or being able to take a natural language question, which is, can you give me an update on my loan and what's the next step? And being able to use generative AI and data capabilities to be able to ask that question of the data and respond with a natural language answer. Whether that's human in the loop, whether that's at some stage without the human in the loop, I think we'll get to that stage. But like, you see that model in terms of being able to ask a natural language question and get a natural language answer. In the same way that today, I'm sure you ask Alexa, tell me a good recipe to make with my leftover meatballs that I have in the fridge, as an example.
So what are the challenges you've seen in this? Like what hasn't worked till now and why?
Oh, I think there's challenges across the board. I mean, I think, as with any technology, as with anything that you're doing, it's really important that you really focus on having top-down leadership to drive the capability. You need to have clear metrics in terms of what you're going to drive towards, an immutable need that you're solving for to make transformation sticky. Okay? So what I see that hasn't worked generally is when we think about the problem as a technology as opposed to the immutable need that we're solving for. So a lot of the banks that I work with are using generative AI or AI/ML to solve a specific banking need, a specific end user need, a specific customer need. But if you're trying to solve generative AI in the bank, it's a little bit more esoteric, and it forces you to kind of just think about the technology as opposed to the end need that you're solving for. And that's what I see not working as well.
So can you share any case where AI and ML or Gen AI project faced significant hurdles and how these were overcome?
Nothing where I would say significant hurdles. I think when we think about all of these, it's making sure that you, as I come back to, focusing on that immutable need. When it hasn't been clear, there's been obviously rework that I've seen customers needing to do in the industry more broadly, but nothing that I would say is significant hurdles from what I've seen, at least for customers that are leveraging AWS, because when we work with our customers in these kinds of spaces, it is very much working backwards from customer needs, and as opposed to, as I was saying earlier, just solving for AI and not generically.
So let's go on to a lighter question now. What does your typical day at AWS look like? You wake up in the morning and then?
I think typical day is very different. So, it's a range of things like this that I'm doing today at Money 2020 through to meeting with customers to talk about their pressing needs, working with our partners in the industry to help them build the core banking or lending operation capabilities that our customers use, to working with my team to, work through our strategy for the next 3 years. So I would say my day is quite mixed, and no one day is the same, but a lot of what I do is very much focused on helping our banking customers drive their transformation more broadly.
And how much of it is taken up by meetings?
I would say not that much. Obviously when I meet customers, you could count that as a meeting, but I find that less so about an internal meeting. I think the question's more about an internal meeting. Probably a very little about my time is spent in internal meetings. I spend most of my time with customers and partners.
So let's go back to talking about Gen AI again, since everybody's talking about it. There have been a lot of tech fads over the years. Is Gen AI another one? Is Gen AI different? Why should bankers care?
So again, I come back to Gen AI is a tool. It's a capability, just in the same way that AI is, etc. I think the reason why I think it's really not just a fad is it's actually helping drive a solve for a business problem that we have. Okay. So humans don't communicate in structured sentences to be able to do a query. Okay. We communicate in natural language where we have different intonations, different ways of speaking. I'm from Australia. I speak differently to my American colleagues just because of the language skills that I learned was the language skills they learned. What generative AI does, it helps us kind of interpret that language and respond in natural language process. It can infer intent, it can infer sentiment. So I don't think it's a fad in terms of the technology, but it's really about the application of that to a specific need. So will it work for every single use case? No. it's combination of traditional AI and generative AI that's actually going to drive parts of the industry. But we see, as I was sharing earlier, that I think it's really going to change the way that corporate employees interact with their daily lives, with their systems in the corporate environment, to go from kind of click and tabbing through screens to more of a natural language conversation. And I think that's why we find it much more transformative.
What advice would you have for job seekers looking for jobs in this industry?
Um, that's a tough one. I would say, look, there's many things. Like, obviously, learn the technology. Okay, there's a lot of free courses out there to understand how generative AI works. There's a lot of things that you can do on being able to use these technologies on the free tiers that a lot of providers provide, whether it's from Claude to Anthropic, etc. I think the other part that's I think clear is that the T model kind of experience is very, very important. You have to be adaptable in your career. I would say, I started my career as a computer programmer. Okay, to what I do today is very different. Now, I've obviously adapted my career from being a computer programmer to what I do today. So that adaptability in your skill set and being able to solve problems from first principles point of view is really, really important. And that's what I would index on, in addition to actually understanding and learning about the technology and understanding how it can be used to drive business outcomes for corporates.
Well, so the last question for you is of a personal kind. What would you be doing in your life if not this?
I don't think anything else. I actually, strangely enough, I really enjoy the job that I do, being able to solve problems. So I don't think I could be doing anything else unless I was retired. I am Charith Mendis. I lead our banking industry team at AWS. Catch me on the Technologist of the Month show.